decision?
I took the decision on Saturday, straight actually during the game when I see the performance. So that is not the standard for Man United, and actually it's not my standard. So we have to change that, and I have to face the team, the players, what the standard is, and that we don't accept this.
And how did the players react to that? Was it a good session? Was it a focused session? Or were some angry about having to come in?
Oh, it's not a problem. I hope they are angry, but angry by themselves. And angry with each other, that they didn't take each other in the responsibility. And so what I say is not acceptable. You cannot deliver it for yourself, for your team, for Man United, for all the fans for Man United.
And just finally for me, I know you don't want to talk about Casemiro specifically, but after the manner of last week's defeat, has that prompted you to look at the midfield and feel as though you need some extra security there with a defensive midfielder possibly?
Yeah, but I think on the first press conference I already told you what we need. So that didn't change.
Neil, Erik, how big is the gap between this team and Liverpool? Because we've seen how well they've done over the last 3 seasons, while United have gone backwards. How big a gap is there between the two of you, do you think?
I don't know if you can tell that in football, but what we have to do is we know where we are now, and we know we have to improve. We have to improve a lot, and so we have to work on our plan and not look at Liverpool.
I know you've spoken in the past about the fan base and the feeling you got in Old Trafford the first time you walked out. Is there not a feeling though that the players are getting a little bit nervous and scared of the reaction in the home crowd? If you go maybe half an hour without scoring or the team starts playing poorly, they seem to get very nervous.
No, it's not necessary because they are good players, they are a good team if they do what they have to do. And in football, it's not always working like you plan, because you have to face an opponent, clear. But if you work hard and you stick to the plan, then the result will come.
Thank you.
Just on that Sunday session, let's believe it was specifically a running session to do with the gap between what United hadn't run and what Brentford had run. I just wondered, could you talk a little bit about the thinking behind that?
Just to face the team, the attitude is not right, and that you have to bring at least the same as the opponent. But I say at least. When I say at least, we have to do more than the opponent in and out of possession.
Has that surprised you? Because on tour it seemed like they were really buying into that approach.
Sometimes we are in a process. Sometimes you have a drop, but then you tell them, you face them that's unacceptable.
Could I just ask just on transfer? Sorry, just Ajax. You obviously had Mark Overmars, sporting director that you worked with. How involved were you with transfers there? Have you been more involved here, or has it been a sort of developing situation?
Same.
Jerry.
Hi, Erik. So you're saying you're not seeing any fighting spirit on the pitch, and this is basic stuff. I think everyone agrees with you, but are you not concerned that the players, if they're not showing fighting spirit, haven't got it in them to accept this sort of very reasonable criticism, and you might lose them, you might annoy them, and these are the very people on which the sort of team depends on? Is it not a bit of a chance, a gamble you're taking?
No, because I think every manager will demand it from his player, and I think it's normal, and I think it's your obligation to a club to fight and give 100%.
But you're saying it publicly. I mean, the very fact that they're not doing it on the pitch, isn't that a concern? Surely they should, the professionals, surely they should have pride. Why do you need to say? I mean, why haven't they got it in them?
We don't know 5 minutes talk about, but I think in every process, this element coming up now, and one of the points as a manager is that you have to work on the attitude and the mentality of the players. So that's what I'm doing, and this is the first time, and so from 27th of June that I was not happy, not satisfied with them. Yeah, then I tell them.
James. Sorry, Rob.
When you have a result like Brentford, when you question the attitude of the players, are you the type of manager that thinks that the players who played in that game have to pay with their places and that they don't get to play again until they earn your trust and that it's time for new players to have a go, or do you send the same team out and say you got us into this mess, you have to fix it?
It depends on the situation. I don't think it's a general answer for this.
And in the discussions that you've had since Brentford, you have to sit in front of us and talk about hunger and attitude, but have the players offered you an explanation as to why the attitude wasn't right at Brentford? Have they explained to you and given you a reason why that was the case?
I'm not interested in the reason why. I think they just have to deliver, and that is my obligation, and them. But don't get me wrong, when I talk about the players, and I want to emphasize that, I'm in the same boat as well. So when they are not in the right attitude, I'm as well. And so we win together, we lose together. And so that cannot happen. So that is a signal, and I think we don't have to make it bigger. And I think it's now a real big story, looks like. So that is not necessary, because what I want, again, it's the first time, it's the first occasion that it happens.
Hi Erik, there's been so much talk about the players' attitude and lack of confidence. I just wonder, are you a believer in sports psychology? Have you had a sports psychologist working with the players this week to try and help them build their confidence?
Yes, I believe, but the main thing is you have to gather it by yourself. I already said how, and it's quite real simple. You cannot do more than you can, but do that what you can, and that is the philosophy, the plan, the game plan. Follow the rules, follow the principles, and play as a team.
And have the players been working with someone this week on that, as a sports psychologist?
They we from the first day on we work with that in that philosophy, and also so mentally we do that continually, structurally.
Dave, there was a clear lack of leadership on the pitch at Brentford. Do you feel you have enough leaders in your team, and do you feel you're getting enough leadership from, in particular, your captain?
When the attitude is no good from a team, then it's also the leaders we're not there, because they are the ones who give the example and go in front, clear. So also that is a point where we have to work on.
But have you spoken to Harry in particular about the need for greater authority and leadership on the pitch?
I work always with a group of leaders, and not one in particular. So. And I spoke with the leaders about this issue.
Did you have a core of senior players that you speak to?
Doesn't have to be always senior players, but we have a core group who have to be the example and take the responsibility.
Mike,
can I ask what have you seen from your leadership group this week that gives you encouragement? If you could describe what you've seen from them.
But this is also a process, and we work with that. We started since a couple of weeks now, and it have to grow.
And could I also ask, with Lisandro Martinez, if you had to speak to him this week, obviously it was a very tough 45 minutes for him. Have you had to reassure him or speak to him specifically about adapting to English football?
I don't think it was a tough 45 minutes or more than another player on the pitch. I think he won his. I saw the stats. He's won his aerial duels. He won his ground challenges. So he was good in the passing, but also make some mistakes, as the whole team did. And I could have swapped 11 players.
Got time for two more. James, Chris.
Hi. The end of last season, start of this season, that is relegation form that United have been in. Some people would say United are too big to be relegated. What would be your thoughts on that?
I think we had a good basic pre-season, but then our 9, Matteo injured, Ronnie not fit. The 6 holding midfield position not there. First game we have two centre halves. They never played together, and then also the goalie was not the best period. So the middle lacks. So there's a clear reason why. So, but I know we will fix that. So then also the results will be better, and I think that showed the pre-season.
The previous manager quite famously said this squad needed open heart surgery. Is that a fair comment, based on what we've seen this season?
I don't have a comment on our reaction on that. I comment what I see now, and what my experience in this season, and what I said. Pre-season we did quite well, and the first 2 league games were not good enough. Clear.
Last question, Chris.
Yes, hi Eric. Have you been shocked by what you've seen in these first 2 games, given what you saw on tour and the expectations you had coming into this job, particularly with the players' confidence and their application?
No, because I made that conclusion already, and that it could be. But you see also what is the potential of this team in pre-season. So now we have to work together to get the good performance back on the pitch.
Just finally, half-time against Brighton, certainly half-time last weekend. In terms of the size of the club, the focus on you, on a personal level, how hard were those moments in terms of your career that you've faced so far? Those 2 half-times going in at 2-0 and 4-0.
Yeah, for me personal, that's never the issue. I'm not here for myself. I'm here to help the club and to restore the club. And I knew before this is a challenge, and I wanted this challenge. And I knew before it's going to be hard, but I wanted that because in my career, everywhere where I started, where the start was difficult. But I get it done, and I'm convinced I get it done here as well. And therefore I choose this project, and I know it's a process, and I will stay consistent to the philosophy, to the plan we had, and I keep confidence in the cooperation I have. So not in the players, definitely, but also in the team around, like the coaches and the directors.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That decision.
I took the decision on Saturday, actually during the game, when I see the performance. So that is not the standard for Man United, and actually it's not my standard. So we have to change that, and I have to face